What are we going to call this guy?
Doctor Strange.
That's pretty good, but it's taken.
So that was a movie. Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. I don't know if you've heard of this movie, but I'm assuming people are going to see it this weekend. So we decided, why not review it and talk about it? What did you all think of the movie?
I liked it a lot, and in time, I think it will be one of my favorites of those. I really enjoyed it. Now, I'll say, I liked the first half, but I loved the second. And I think it's a movie that only gets better as it goes along. And maybe there's flaws in it, sure, but no, I had a good time.
I felt the same way as Christian. I really liked the first half of the movie, and then it even started to simmer even more as I got into the second half. And then I really started to like the movies. I think it only built until the end. Really enjoyed the whole complete thing. I'm glad of what we got. I'm happy.
I was expecting it to be absolutely nuts and crazy. It was pretty crazy and stuff, but it could have been even crazier. Not that it necessarily needed to be, because you have to have this thing called a story, evidently, because it's a movie. They do have some crazy fun with it, but we're not going to spoil the craziness parts in this video. Just going to talk about how the movie was and general things that movies do, and if they did them good. And I think they did them good.
You done good, Hasselhoff.
Could be better than the first Doctor Strange, but the first Doctor Strange is pretty underrated, and the visuals in the first Doctor Strange are absolutely mesmerizing. While this one does have really good visuals, it doesn't really focus on that as much as I would have expected it to be, being that it's a Multiverse of Madness movie. You would think that they would have more fun with all the multiverse old stuff. But there's really only one like solid metal part where they play around with that stuff, and that part is awesome and the best part of the movie for me.
Like Paint World?
Yeah, just stupid crap like that. Like I
liked that.
Yeah, there's like a little montage where they're traveling back and forth in these worlds, and I kind of going into it, I thought there was going to be something like that, but I thought it was going to be more expansive and where you could spend some time in these different places, but. They do it in a way where you don't really do that, but you get to spend time in this one particular multiversal world and a couple others eventually. But yeah, I thought they were going to kind of have like go grab bag on this guy and this guy and this thing and this thing, which I get would have been kind of chaotic and overdone, but I was ready for it and I was ready to see the craziness. But it did satisfy that while also telling a good story, although I don't think the payoff at the end was that great compared to other MCU movies where they bring the story all together. I also have not seen WandaVision, so maybe that would have been somewhat helpful, but I thought it was pretty easy to pick up on how everything was portrayed because it was obvious that she wanted to be with her kids because she mentioned it a couple times.
We were gonna ask you what you made of that, having, lived under a rock and not watched WandaVision.
Having chosen not to watch a television program that was drawn out for
yeah,
a ridiculous amount of time.
I do think the movie did a good job of kind of yada-yadaing WandaVision.
I think it was pretty easy to pick up.
Yeah.
I know there's certain things that happen in WandaVision that they definitely don't put in the movie, but I don't care that much to fully explore it. But like the basic gist and her motivation, that stuff was there. I just didn't think it was that great. But she does do some stuff.
Yes,
those parts are good.
I think Elizabeth Olsen's really good in this movie. Some of the MCU's best quote-unquote villain work.
Of the 25 movies that I've seen, half of them being absolute garbage, I nominated Elizabeth Olsen for Best Actress. So she is on my short list of 5 so far.
Fair.
And will soon probably be knocked off, but in terms of what I've seen this year, she was definitely one of the top 5 actress performances. Along with 2 of the castmates from 355.
Oh, yes, our first review. Okay, so going into this movie, I knew what I was getting into. It's a Marvel movie, but it's also a Sam Raimi movie. And watching it, I got the vibe that Marvel was like, okay, you have to do this, 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 and this. But do it however you want. Like, it for the last half, that is. Like, there are sprinkles of what he does best, like, in terms of nuttiness in the first half, but it's the second half where he just gets to go off and have a ball.
I still don't think they let him play around that much, like he would have in the olden times.
Yeah.
But, like, I still feel like those things that you're saying that aren't necessarily on a checklist, seem sort of checklisty as in terms of where they want it to be
Uh-huh,
at the end, but
yeah.
obviously you have to do that because
Mhm.
it's the universe where everything
Yeah.
has to add up and stuff.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, it doesn't drag away from the movie or make it not good
Mhm.
because I definitely like the movie.
I think he gets that too. I mean, it's his first movie in 9 years. Marvel has come a long way since he's been doing Spider-Man movies, which was Spider-Man 3 was 15 years ago. God, that makes me feel old.
No, please, please don't say that.
He kind of knew what he was doing, and I think he did a good job with it. I enjoyed it quite a bit, particularly the Sam Raimi-ness of it all.
Him directing this movie really shows how far Marvel's willing to stretch their guidelines and limitations of how they want things to reach a certain place at the end of the movie, and they don't really care how it gets there. You see one end of that being Eternals, how people reacted to that, and now you see this one with Sam Raimi, and it's a different style, and they let him use his different storytelling techniques on how to get there, and obviously people like that more. It's kind of showing that Marvel's branching out a little bit more. I think that now that they're in, what is this, like phase 5 or whatever?
20th movie. That's
Yes.
America Chavez is one of the new characters in this movie, and I think she's done good, really well. Kind of brings something new to the MCU while not being like, hey, we're bringing something new into the MCU. It's kind of done more where it makes sense and it fits in and it blends in, and it's not like totally in your face and like, hey, we're doing something else in it here. And her motive and her character stuff was really cool. I didn't know anything about it, and the fact that she can travel the multiverse, but there's only one of her, is a really cool little twist on the multiverse stuff, because she doesn't have other versions of herself that she'll run into. She's literally the one and only of her, and she can run into other worlds and stuff willy-nilly. The stuff they did with her parents was actually really well done, I thought.
I like that character a lot too. I thought she was cool.
There are some nice horror shots and all these odes to horror movies in general. There's one in particular I really liked. It kind of made me feel like I was watching The Ring, and that was one of my favorite scenes. There's some Carrie vibes in it. There's a lot of stuff like that. Some Evil Dead vibes even in it. Makes it seem like there was a Sam Raimi movie.
Yes.
Hail to the king, baby.
There's a lot of his DNA in there, but there's also a lot of like what Marvel does with its world building and setup and all that. And I really like how the movie is a brisk 2 hours. Like I was very tired and it was very late, but you know what? It's 2 hours that I think moves really well. In my opinion, like I don't think there's much fat to really trim off of it. I thought it got to the point.
It was good, yeah. It was something different, something more horror-y.
This is what I want to see. Like, I want to see Marvel take a swing like this more often, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, I love Spider-Man No Way Home. I think that's a better movie. But this felt different. And I think it's because they knew that Sam Raimi has a particular, like, style and way that he knows what he likes, and they let him do enough of it in this movie to where I had a good time at a Sam Raimi movie. The first one in 9 years, and hopefully it won't be the last.
And the one before this wasn't that great or powerful.
It was not very well done.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
But the one before that
It was not a drag.
it was not a drag.
So what do you all rate it?
9. I really liked it. I don't know, like, it started out well, and then by the time I reached the end of it, I was like, yeah. I was picking up everything Sam Raimi was putting down, and I was here for it. Yeah, no, good.
I also rated a 9 out of 10 because it feels like you're on like an interdimensional pinball machine, and you're just bouncing around and going through the movie and having a good time. I enjoyed myself. It's definitely a 9.
I give it an 8. It was a very solid, fun time. I just didn't think the payoff at the end gave me emotional depth as much as movies like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Spider-Man No Way Home and Infinity War and stuff like that. But it was a very solid, fun movie where they did some stuff with it, and it was cool. And I like Sam Raimi, and they had some very nice Sam Raimi stuff in it, where like you've seen any Sam Raimi movie, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Helps maintain the illusion.
That's what we thought of the movie. Like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. We post videos like this weekly, whether they be reviews, whether they be movie drafts, or whether they be top 10 lists based on what's going on in the world of movies.
You could do a sling ring thing out.